When anyone's shopping for a new home and looking for a mortgage is always wondering, am I getting a good deal? Well, today we got 4 ways that maybe you can protect yourself, make sure that that deal that you are getting is as good as you can find. That's coming up next. Hello and welcome in. This is the Smart Mortgage Show. Thanks for finding us here on YouTube or wherever you're listening on podcasts. Please subscribe to the channel wherever you find us, and we'd appreciate that support. Again, leave us a question, comment if you have that as well. That all helps us continue to grow the YouTube channel. He's Bill Litton, Regional President at Cross Country Mortgage. I'm Ben George. Good to see you again. Bill, how are you?
Hey, Ben. Doing good. It's just getting a little bit busier over here, which is great, headed into the fall. And we're just, grateful. We had a really great summer and going to keep, onward and upward.
Well, I got a good conversation today I want to get into with you, and that's just kind of how do you know if you are getting a good deal? Because I know anyone that's looking for a home and shopping around, and they want to get a good deal on the home that they're buying, but they also want to make sure they're getting a good deal with their loan, right? And I know it comes up, and because we don't do this every day, I know we talk about this, but it's not something we do a lot in our lifetime, so it's hard to truly know what's what, and if we are truly getting something that we feel is a good deal, is it actually a good deal?
Yeah, I think that mortgages are probably one of the harder things to shop for because you do it so infrequently in your life. Maybe 5 times is an average for the average homeowner. So in order to understand that loan estimate, you don't have any repetitive experience with it. So it can be very difficult to shop for.
All right, so we're going to try to help you today. If you are shopping around, whether or not you're going to get a good deal, we got 4 ways to kind of make sure that you're protecting yourself and to really confirm that that deal that you're getting, that is a bargain maybe, or is just a good deal that you're not getting ripped off. That's always, we want to make sure to protect you as a consumer. If you have any questions, again, always encourage you to visit smartmortgageshow.com. A lot of information there. We've talked about a lot of different mortgage lending topics and home buying topics that hopefully can benefit you. And if you have any questions, again, the number's on the screen. But if you're listening, it's 484-352-4151. So first thing you got to do, Bill, right, is you got to get in writing. Let's start there.
So definitely get the quote, get all the terms from the lender in writing in the form of a loan estimate. Because if a lender is not going to give you a loan estimate, and some won't, there's something they don't want you to see. Maybe that it's, they're charging extra fees. Maybe that they're just super expensive. Maybe they don't work in the area that you live in and they're not familiar and they're kind of afraid that maybe they put the title insurance or the tax escrows or it just doesn't look right. So get a loan estimate and make sure that the loan estimate is accurate. That's really important.
When you say make sure it's accurate, what do you mean? What are you looking for? What are you checking?
So one of the things that we see a lot with loan estimates is in Pennsylvania, taxes are due once a year. So when you buy a house, you have to pay 12 months of taxes up front. Well, if you're from out of state and you're, let's say you lend primarily in New Jersey where they're paid quarterly and you only include the maximum amount of months they could take is 5 months. Well, the New Jersey lender's loan estimate is going to look a lot lower in cost because they've left out half a year of taxes, right? Or they've left out technically 7 or 8 months worth of taxes. So if you put the estimates next to each other and you look at just the bottom line cash to close, the New Jersey estimate's going to look lower than the Pennsylvania. There is no requirement for the lender to be accurate on those months. When you get to the settlement table, you're going to be very unpleasantly surprised that you need to bring an extra $5,000 or $10,000 to the settlement table.
Well, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is how am I supposed to know that as someone that's shopping and doesn't do this a lot, right? And I guess that kind of takes us to our second point: is that you can take this to someone like yourself, Bill, Cross Country, and say, "Hey, I got this loan estimate. Does this look right? Does this look like a good deal? Does it look accurate?"
Send us the loan estimate and we will review it. And look, if let's say you send the loan estimate and it's from a very reputable lender and it's better than our estimate because you can't be the best at everything all the time, right? Nobody can do that, right? We feel like we're super competitive most of the time. But if someone's running a sale that's just unbelievably appealing and rates just super low and it's from a really great lender, then we're going to tell you, hey, that's a really great deal. Go with that lender, right? Alternatively, though, and this is what we see more often, are teaser rate quotes from lenders that aren't so well known. They don't have a good reputation. So then it becomes what my competition is I'm really not up against what you're going to get. I'm up against a quote.
Mm-hmm.
So then, what you want to do is look up the reviews on that lender, make sure that they're reputable. Did it come from a good referral source? We're usually referred by somebody who's reputable. We've got great reviews. We guarantee our terms, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to offer you a rate that's 2% below the market, but there's no guarantee that you're going to get that. And you get to the table and it's higher than what we offered. There's something of value in, what your favorite restaurant, right? You might pay a little bit more to go there, but it's because every time you go there, it's a great experience. Well, my quote may be a little higher, but it's guaranteed. You know what you're going to get. And that's why we get referred. All the realtors, financial advisors, CPAs that work with us, all the feedback is excellent because you always get what we tell you. There are no surprises. There's no bait and switch.
Yeah, you don't want to go through this process and not know the actual amount that you're going to spend, right? Nobody wants to get caught up and end up spending more. It's great if it's a surprise and you say, hey, you actually don't know as much as we thought you were going to owe, which I'm sure does happen in some cases. But you talk about those online quotes and everybody shops around and we've all put it in there, just got a projection, got an idea. Those aren't always accurate, right? As you said. But there are places, and this is kind of the third point, there are websites out there that you can help show someone and get some accurate numbers.
Yeah. So there are websites, and basically what we encourage people to do is, when we're talking to you, and by the way, some people, they don't want to shop at all. They've gotten a great referral and they're like, we really just want to go with you. We know we're going to get a great rate. We know we're going to get a great deal. And they're just comfortable with what we're doing. And that's awesome too. We do not in any way, shape, or form discourage anybody from shopping. I'm a consumer as well, and I like to look around. There are some websites. So when you go to a website like LendingTree or Bankrate or one of these websites that's trying to sell you something, there tend to be a lot of teaser rates. So they're going to show you the absolute lowest rock bottom scenario that's a unicorn scenario. And you're likely not going to get that. Where we would send you would be a third party resource that kind of accumulates data and shares, hey, what is the average 30-year fixed rate at this time? So there are some websites that we would direct you to that would be a really good gauge for you to be able to shop. And look, if you see something if this website's saying 6.5% and we're saying 6.5% and somebody else is coming in at 5.25%, I mean, there might be a reason to be concerned about that. We see it all the time where that 5.25% doesn't end up being 5.25% at the settlement table.
Yeah, there's a common sense element to some of it. And I think we've all, anybody that's done some shopping is seen that and understands that as well. But I think the kind of the final point here, Bill, is to treat your money the way you would treat your health. I think this is kind of a good way to look at it, and it's kind of a good principle to stick by.
Yeah, well, and so when you go out to Amazon and you want to buy a new Bluetooth headset, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cheapest one on the website is probably not a high quality item. There's probably not a lot of value. It's got 2 stars, so we usually skip over those. But the one that's, reasonably priced and has the most stars and the most value. So value is, our motto is give way more in value than we charge in our fee or our price or our rate. And basically you could kind of, pair that up with, if you were going to get a surgery done, would you want the surgeon who's done two heart surgeries and says, "Hey, I'm doing them. I've only done two, but I'll do it really cheap."
No.
Right? Or do you want to do the one that's going to guarantee you the most value and the best experience? This is the largest purchase, your largest asset that you're going to have in your life for 99% of people out there. Picking the cheapest rock bottom, hey, you might find a good deal, and that's great. But we see more often than not that what you think is a good deal is really a teaser rate, or it's somebody that's going to put you through a process where you might not get approved, you might not close on time, you might put your deposit at risk. There's a lot of dates, there's a lot of agreements in the contract. We're conscious of all of them. We're delivering every step of the way. The other lender, ask them about those dates. Ask them how they're taking them into consideration with their process. They may not even be aware that they exist.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's okay to ask these kind of questions too, right? And that's kind of how you get a sense of whether or not the person that you're talking about is credible, their experience, or reputable. There are certain questions you can ask people, right?
Ben, I got to be honest. When somebody says like, "Bill, I've got some," before I even start telling you, I have some questions, right? Can you tell me about your company?
Yeah.
How do you guys operate? Like, what is Cross Country Mortgage? Like, why are they different? Why wouldn't I just walk into my bank? It's a great question. I love when people ask these questions because I think they're asking the right questions. There is a question about, the other day I had somebody call me and say, and it's a very complex scenario, and I knew it 2 minutes in, and 10 minutes later, they were like, "Well, we're just looking for the lowest rate." And I was like, I've got to tell you guys, that may be a big mistake, especially based on the complexity of your loan. The lowest rate might be the cheapest piece of junk that doesn't get you where you need to go. These folks they're buying a business. This is their livelihood. They need a commercial loan. And so, asking the questions of who referred you? Did you just go online and if you did go online, do they have a lot of great reviews? Can they refer somebody? If it's a big enough deal, let me talk to somebody who had a great experience. We're borrowing $1.5 million here. I need more than just, hey, my website says that we're great, right? We might need more than that. How many loans do you close a month? In real estate, we see a lot of like part-time agents that close 1 or 2 deals a year. Do you think they're going to guide you through the process as well as somebody who does 1 or 2 deals a month? I'm not saying you have to do 100 deals a year in mortgage or real estate to be good, but doing a couple a year or one every other month, I would be careful. In our world, it's how many lenders do you work with, right? If you go to Chase Manhattan, they are one lender. They are just themselves. We work with Chase. We work with 100 other lenders. So we're going to look for who's got the best rates, who's got the best terms for your specific scenario, who's going to be okay with your underwriting nuances that are specific to your credit, income, funds to close. We're going to pair you up with the best lender.
All right. So again, if you have any questions, the best place to start, smartmortgageshow.com. If you want to get kind of feedback on what kind of options are available for you, what kind of rates you might be able to secure, what kind of loan options. And we've talked about this before on the channel. So go back through some of our YouTube videos as well and check them out. But Bill's best interest is to get you in the best option. Even if it's not working with him, he wants to see your overall picture, make sure the product that you get is going to be your best fit for what your overall financial goals are. That's the key. So again, you want to get a good deal, but make sure it is accurate. Make sure it's not a teaser rate, as we talked about. And again, if you want to get a second opinion on something, reach out to Bill. It's a Cross Country Mortgage. You can always find him on, again, smartmortgageshow.com. Any final thoughts on this, Bill?
Just treat it very seriously. Treat it like your health. It's super important. It's a lot of money. It can steer your financial future in one direction or the other. It can help you build wealth if you do it the wrong way. And there's a lot of ways to do that. It can, very severely damage your financial future. So work with people that are consummate professionals that can point you in the best direction possible for you, not for them, for you.
Very good. Well, thanks for watching again on YouTube. Please subscribe, like the video, leave us a comment. If you have a question as well, we'd love to hear from you. We'll try to address one on future shows. So thanks for being a part of the Smart Mortgage Show. For Bill Litton at Cross Country Mortgage, I'm Ben George. Have a good day. This program is for informational purposes only. Please consult a qualified professional before taking any action. Bill Litton is a loan advisor and regional president with Cross Country Mortgage, NMLS number 147060.